The reality of operator mode is pretty simple. Ultimately, you end up feeling like your store owns you instead of you being able to break through that ceiling. Because a lot of the founders that I've met, and I'm guilty of it myself, we continue to increase effort, but freedom doesn't increase. And that's really the moment that your old identity breaks. You can't scale as an operator. You scale when you step into that owner role. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So here is the operator trap. Now, there's three things that I've seen make this up, and ultimately, operator mode fools us because it works at the start and we're grinding, we're hustling, we're doing our thing, and you're carrying the whole thing on your back. Then the business grows and suddenly every single question lands with you. Notifications never stop. Slack keeps going off. Your credit cards are being declined over here. Like there's just so many things happening. Meta ads approvals are needed over here. You need content. You don't have product. Like your days fill up with a bunch of tasks instead of getting traction. Revenue starts rising, but your stress is going faster and you just feel like this sense of overload. It tricks you into feeling like it's working, but it's not because it used to work and your business is growing and you think if I just keep doing more, it's going to keep getting better, but you realize that's not the case. So you'll know you're in the operator mode, but here's what will happen next is you'll have constant interruptions. Your team's coming to you for every single answer. You're going to have task overload, and then you're going to be doing the wrong work. And so these are like the three characteristics I've typically seen make up somebody that's in operator mode. It's effort heavy, strategy light. You're focused more on like that short term versus the long term. And it keeps you running, but your ability to grow is really stifled. And that's when we have to go into this identity upgrade. And if you don't go here, there's going to be an issue with being able to keep growing up to that next level. Now, operators ask, what needs to get done today? Well, owners ask, what needs to be built so that this takes care of itself forever? I'm going to say that again. Operators ask, what needs to be done today? And they think in tasks, they think in urgency, and ultimately they hold responsibilities. The owner, on the other hand, they think in systems and outcomes. Then they assign responsibility and architect this machine. I can't stress this point enough. It's not about just using Asana or Traction or L10s or like certain meeting structures or ChatGPT for team and hire. It's not about any of that. It's about how you think, like your mindset, the first principles of how you approach problems and what needs to be built so that it takes care of itself forever. That's the line right there. And that's what this identity upgrade is about. I won't actually, I will show you. I actually had a sheet and I'm afraid to show this to you just because I'm thinking you're going to want it, but I got to just put it down below or put it in our private community that you can sign up for below as a resource. But basically, I put on the top, it's going to keep blurring it, but $0 to $100 tasks. And it even has negative $100 tasks, and then $1,000 to $100,000 tasks, and it has the buckets of tasks. And this is something I gave myself because I personally would feel like I could do that. I could do that too. I could do that too, and I would want to do every single task. It's a crazy thing that like as founders we have. So I say this to you of asking you to be willing to make this upgrade in the way that you think about and approach business as a person who has also struggled with this and still does that, so much so that I have a laminated piece of paper that I put here for myself to remind myself because I will forget this. So I know I took a lot of time on this one, but I just think it's so important. Owners assign responsibility and design the machine. Operators carry the responsibility. And that's why I was saying, hey, it gets too heavy. The load gets so heavy you can't keep going here. You start drowning because you're not thinking like this. Your highest value job is not doing the work. Your highest value job is removing the work. Let that sink in as well. That right there will change the way that you work each and every day. Now, owner system number one, because remember, we're building the system as the owner, not the operator now. Owner system number one is really about 3 metrics that matter. And this is for a Shopify store owner. And I like looking at these 3, and that I've seen these 3 be the most helpful. So we have leads, how many potential customers are entering your funnel. I like referring to leads as leads are the amount of people who are all contacts in Klaviyo minus people who have bought. So that's like leads and contacts who you can email, who you have rights to email them, permission to email them. Then we have lead to purchase conversion. So, what percentage of those leads become paying customers? I think that's really important because if you don't look at that, you will start to notice that you may be getting leads from a specific source that never convert. And how you look at that is you can look at you can track it manually and say, hey, how many leads have I had in the last 90 days who signed up in the last 90 days? So then you say, now, how many first time customers have I had who had signed up for email before then? And like basically which people from my email list who were leads end up converting. And then we look at recurring revenue. So predictable income from existing customers. Now, this is very important. And this is what my whole YouTube channel is about, is helping subscription focused Shopify store owners to continue to increase their revenue and break $1 million, and if you don't have this predictable revenue coming from existing customers, that is where a lot of anxiety in e-commerce comes from. And I've just seen it time and time again. If these rise, your business becomes more predictable. If these stall, nothing else matters. And this is the lens owners operate from. Like, you're looking at these things and saying, okay, how is the business doing? And number 2 is going to be our retention engine that stabilizes the company. And owners do understand this. They know that predictable revenue equals predictable life. And that's a very important piece because a predictable life will build long-term growth. Now, when you have that predictability, your stress is lower, your mindset's better, your way you treat your team is better, the culture in your company is better, and people do better work. You need one retention pathway that's so useful and aligned with what your customer wants that it becomes their default. So you can either do a subscription service, have a refill cycle, replenishment plans, or like some sort of backstage opportunity. I've seen all these in different ways. And now we're going to go ahead and look at how owners or operators think of retention. And operators end up with chasing new customers constantly, while owners optimize existing customers for stability. Because ultimately, retention is freedom disguised as a metric. Now, replacing yourself. This is number 3. So remember, roles and responsibilities that replace you. That is the goal here. This is where founders hesitate because delegation feels like they're losing control. But let's be honest, none of us have control over most of the things in our business. We just have a false sense of security with some of them. In reality, though, this is how you get that control back. Owners create these 4 lists, and that's things only I should do, things I can delegate, things that must become systems, and things we should stop doing. 10 to 20%, by the way, automatically, let's just say 20%, does not need to be done and doesn't move revenue or profit at all. Then we'll work backwards here. Things that must become systems. This is processes and things that need to run so that this can run without you. But that must start with having that team in place, which will be a whole separate video that I'll put together. And then it goes to things I can delegate. So this is also, you must have a team to be able to delegate to, and then things only I should do. I would look at things only I should do being like 20% of the business. If not, you're going to be carrying too many things that, if you're working on certain things like launching your ads and building landing pages and tweaking the buy box and launching the sale, like all the pieces, even in the early stages, it can be very difficult to get your head up enough to say what needs to happen here. And chances are you're probably doing them at a lower level than somebody who is really excellent at those things. Even hiring somebody from like a Fiverr or Upwork or things like that. If you surround yourself with the right like coach or team that can help just even advise you. Like, they don't have to be doing the work for you, but just tell you, here's the order in which you want to do things. Here's the MER target, marketing efficiency ratio you need to look at. Here's a realistic CAC target based on your profit margins. Like, as the owner, those are the areas you need to be focused on, and then putting and appointing people in places to succeed around you. And so those are the things that only you should do. It's usually, what I like to say is product or content or both. So like, everything else other than that should not be you. Even if you're a marketer first, you should be focusing on content then. If you're business first, then you should be focusing on product and really telling that story. Removing tasks here is just as powerful as adding them. So remember, like, our goal is to remove the work, not to add more things to do. Now, section 4 here is going to be the owner roadmap. Now, this is what's going to look like to really transform the way that you're doing things here. So you're going to step out of daily operations. You want to remain the visionary while giving someone else the keys to the day-to-day. You direct strategy, you don't push buttons. That's how we work with people many times, where now I'm coaching them, and I will have like my team around as well, being like, okay, here's how we can improve media buying, or here's how we can improve the offer. But you can remain the visionary saying, no, I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it like this. But like, then we can also bring people in and refer people to have you not have to push the buttons, that you can stay in that visionary role with the strategic advisor and coach, and we can put people in place for you to help you succeed there. Building recurring revenue. So this is going to be the difference between chaotic months and calm months. And it just, there's no other way. I personally acquired a Shopify store recently, a subscription. It has subscription first, and it is focused on reading and travel. And there's no way I would buy a brand without it having subscription within it, because that predictable cash flow creates predictable contribution margin from returning customers, which, if you have that cover your base expenses for the business, like, you're up and to the right continually, as long as you are not losing more people than you are adding into your subscription over time. Also, a whole nother video, whole nother topic, but I've have that one planned out for the future. Like, I want to talk about contribution margin and really go in depth into that, and I'm really excited to do that with you all. Next is going to be documenting your thinking. Everything trapped in your brain needs to live in systems. Others can execute at 90% accuracy. And I've heard Dan Martell talk about this as like 80% done, or maybe it's Hormozy. He's like 80% done is better than you doing everything. And I've also heard Hormozy talk about this, and I actually sent it to a friend when he said what I'm about to tell you, because it was that powerful. He said, "I used to think I could, or you can do everything, but you can't do, like, you can't beat your whole team doing everything that you would be doing if you were doing it alone. Like, you may be better than them at running ads, but you may be better than somebody at running email, and you may be better than somebody at copywriting. But like, once you add up a whole team doing it and you're doing each one individually, there's no way you win in that battle." And that, like, I don't know why, that's a very simple concept, but that hit me so hard between the eyes. I just literally was like, I'm not going to keep trying to do all the things. I'm going to step into parts of the business. I'm going to coach and teach in it. And then I'm going to move out of the way and appoint somebody to own that and lead that and run that. And it's been transformational. So remember, other people can execute at 90% accuracy without you in the process. Move from feelings to numbers. So this is something I see a lot, is operators decide based on emotion, owners decide based on data. I was just coaching somebody the other day, and we were talking through this actually. And I was explaining to him that it is very tough to operate based on gut feel and emotion. While gut feel is a thing, the emotions that come along with not being clear on what is the data saying to us can just take us on a ride like a roller coaster. So this is one that's very important. And there's this concept I always teach around having a scorecard every week, looking at it every Monday, and having 3 to 5 metrics that you really look at. In addition to the ones that I said are important there, each business will typically have some metrics that are important to them. Now, designing your owner calendar. So this is uninterrupted time for strategy, deep decisions, and creative direction. Usually, I think for the owner calendar, it's product or it's content. And content is like storytelling, short form, long form, partnering with creators, getting creators, coaching your internal team on content. Like it's all things about content and storytelling online, written word, visual, audio, and or product, and improving that. And your calendar must reflect the owner identity. It's something that in my coaching program we go through with people and we say, all right, where is this owner time going to live at? Now, this is what happens when you shift. You're gonna, I've watched this over and over again as I've coached people as they go from drowning in operations to feeling completely in control. And it is so amazing to watch. Like, it's why I do this. And this can happen within a few weeks, but it also can happen in a couple of days. So you stop firefighting, your team steps up. And really, when your team steps up, like they're not just stepping up, their quality of life is also improving. Do you realize that? Like, when you have this team around you and you're helping them and they're getting better, like you're being a better leader to them by stepping up what you're doing as well. Your metrics go up and it feels like the business finally exhales, and you do as well. And that's exactly what happens when you stop operating and you start owning. Now, if you are an owner of a Shopify store doing around 15K a month and you're looking to continue to grow, I have a link down below to apply to be able to join the Subscription Profits Accelerator. Now, this accelerator is specifically designed to help you double your profit in 90 days. And we do that because we're able to come in and we just all I do is work with Shopify stores, focus on subscription. And I've managed brands, with over like $500 million of revenue driven over the past about 10 years. And I eat, sleep, breathe ecom. I own my own Shopify store. I understand all the pieces that it takes, and I have a background in creative, and I'm just looking to see what are the store owners that are succeeding doing, and how do we apply those same learnings to the other ones, and same things that I've learned, and how do we apply it, and then where are we going next? How do we work together as a community of people to hold each other accountable? We're all store owners doing it together, and um, do it with someone who has done it before. Like on the paid side, I will guide you step by step exactly what you need to do to be able to tell which ads are working, which ones aren't. And you don't have to waste thousands of dollars. Like I like to tell people that just by the amount of money they're going to save and not wasting their ads in a month pays for itself 3 to 5x. Because if you're going to go try to scale with a strategy that's not going to work, you're just going to light money on fire. And then if you don't push on ads, you're also leaving money on the table because you could be growing faster, but you just don't know how to because you're limited by your ability to come up with good creative storytelling that wraps around the product, hits people with cold audiences, pre-sells them on the pre-sale page, converts on the product page, upsells on the checkout page, like all those pieces, and then has like email flows on the back end and all of that. So that's how we're able to basically double your revenue, double your profit. Is I've just seen so many stores. I get to work directly with you, and you can go ahead and apply down below. I do have a couple spots at the time of recording this video, which is in November 2025. But I am going to cap just because I don't want it to get too big. I want to stay very intimate with each and every person, but I'm in there every day. I'm doing videos in our different channels and doing one-on-ones as needed with you all. So if you're serious about growing your store, I'd love to see your application come through. And I'll see you on the other side. Thank you all for spending some time with me today. And don't forget, work to live as you're growing this Shopify store, as you're on this journey. Like, this is a blessing. We should be grateful for this. And I can't wait to hear from you, whether it's in the comments, whether it's on Instagram, Double My eCommerce everywhere, or if I see you inside of the Subscription Profits Accelerator. All right, take care. Peace.